Picture the exact moment you're in right now. You've got maybe $40 in your pocket you didn't even count today, a card in your bag, an app on your phone. Now delete all of it. Every coin, every note, every account. You still need food tonight. There is no price tag anywhere on earth to guide you. Right now, buying that food takes 4 seconds and zero conversation. A tap, a stranger hands you dinner, done. So how did ancient humans get what they needed for tens of thousands of years with nothing that looked like cash? In 1922, anthropologist Bronislaw Malinowski published his account of 2 years spent living among the Trobriand Islanders, off the eastern coast of Papua New Guinea. He'd found something no economic textbook of the time had a name for. Islanders paddled canoes across more than 100 miles of open ocean, risking storms and reefs, to deliver two kinds of ornament: red shell necklaces called salava and white shell armbands called mwali. The necklaces moved one direction around the island chain. The armbands moved the other. Some pieces stayed in motion for decades, passing through dozens of hands, never settling into anyone's permanent collection. Nobody ate a salava. Nobody built a house with a mwali. Malinowski called the whole system the Kula Ring, and it worked like social insurance. A trading partner 200 miles away was someone who owed you a favor, and a favor owed was worth more than any object changing hands. But shells and canoes only work if you can still put a face to the debt. So what happens when the person who owes you lives too far away, or the trade happened before you were even born? In 1910, American ethnographer William Henry Furness III published his account of the island of Yap in what's now Micronesia. Islanders there used enormous limestone discs, some up to 12 feet across and weighing several tons, as their primary form of money, called rye. Nobody moved the stones to make a purchase. Ownership simply changed hands by agreement, sometimes while the stone itself sat at the bottom of a lagoon, wrecked during transport a generation earlier. Everyone on the island still knew exactly who owned it. Economist Milton Friedman, writing decades later, pointed to Yap as proof of something uncomfortable. The object was never really the point. It was a shared collective memory of who owed what to whom. The same ledger, just kept in people's heads instead of a bank server. Everyone assumes money grew out of barter, that ancient people traded a chicken for a sack of grain until someone invented coins to make it simpler. Anthropologists have spent over a century looking for a single society built on pure barter as its foundation. They keep coming up empty. What they find instead, again and again, is debt. Somebody remembered what you owed them, long before anybody minted a coin to prove it. In 1992, archaeologist Denis Schmont-Besserat published decades of research into small clay tokens found across ancient Mesopotamia, including the city of Uruk in modern-day Iraq, some dating back more than 5,000 years. Each shape stood for a fixed quantity: a cone for a measure of grain, a cylinder for an animal. Temple administrators sealed the tokens inside hollow clay envelopes as a record of what was owed, then pressed the shapes into the wet surface outside so the debt could be checked without breaking the seal. Those pressed marks, made before anyone had invented writing, are considered by many researchers among the earliest ancestors of the written number system. The debt came first. The record came second to prove the debt existed. Coinage wouldn't show up for another 2,500 years. It just made the proof easier to carry in your pocket. But clay tablets require a temple, a scribe, and a city to keep them safe. What did people trust when there was no palace, no scribe, and no writing at all? In 1976, Chinese archaeologist Zheng Zhenxiang excavated the tomb of Fu Hao, a Shang dynasty queen and military commander, at Anyang in central China. Buried alongside her bronze weapons and jade ornaments were nearly 7,000 cowrie shells, small mollusk shells that don't naturally occur anywhere near landlocked Anyang. They'd been carried hundreds of miles inland because they functioned as currency. The same pattern shows up on nearly every continent. Cowries used as money in West Africa, in South Asia, across the Pacific, for more than 3,000 years. The ancient Chinese character for money is a direct drawing of a cowrie shell. Whatever counted as money 3,000 years ago wasn't paper or metal at all. It was a shell nobody could eat, grown nowhere nearby, worth exactly what everyone agreed it was worth. Here's where it gets strange. None of this explains the people who never needed a ledger at all. In 1972, anthropologist Marshall Solins published a study of hunter-gatherer societies across Africa and Australia, including groups like the Jew Hawansi of the Kalahari Desert, and reached a conclusion that stunned the field. Some groups met their material needs on as little as 15 to 20 hours of actual labor a week, less than half of a standard modern work schedule. Food was shared immediately, the same night it was caught, split among everyone present instead of stored or traded away. Solins called this the original affluent society. Not wealthy in objects, but free of the want that makes objects necessary in the first place. There was no need for a coin, a shell, or a stone tablet, when the group itself was the safety net. Everyone assumes life before money meant constant scarcity, a desperate scramble for the next meal. The record tells a more complicated story. Some of these societies show evidence of more leisure time, not less, than the average person